Hey guys, how are we doing? How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to change the busy background. Even though this is still kind of busy, but to me it's not as busy, so it won't distract me. How's everybody doing? And sorry, Jan, I forgot to send your email. But if you ever need me to send something, just come into the chat and write it in there, and then I'll see it and I'll do it right away. But I sent it, I forwarded it right over to her. So legal-minded friends, Karen Cole said, oh, hi from England. Look at that. Wow. What is the time over there in England? I wonder what it is. Is it the same day? I know that there's like certain countries are on like a different day than us. It's like they're in the future. It's so weird to me. That's so weird. But I say that I'm going to get like all those clocks and put them up here, like above me, you know, the round clocks for like all the different countries. That way I'll know. And Reben here being funny, saying don't tell me what to do. And thanks for everybody for joining me again for another live. If you weren't here for this morning's live, I hopped on for an impromptu live. They, broke some stuff out for the Long Island or the Gilgo Beach, Rex Humerman. And they had a press conference just to give you guys a little, backstory of the live today. But they ended up naming one of the Jane Does that they had found. So she got her name back. So that's been it's been a eventful day today. Let me grab my paper here. And I did have a picture of her. It's on I think it's on my short video. If you want to check that out. But her name is Karen, what was it? Vergata. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But she got her name back after 27 years. That's a long time. And hey, Legendary, it's been a while. Breakfast table and otherwise empty room. You got some good taste in music? Oh, you're on vacation summer? Are you going anywhere? Or are you just like hanging around the house, not doing anything at all? Because like that's what people usually do on their vacations. They usually just stay home and just relax. Told your mama to keep you in your yard. That's so funny. Hey, Judy. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Isabel. I'm just going through the chat a little bit. Hey, Carrie. Hopefully everyone's having a great day today. TGIF. Yeah, Catherine said TGIF. Hey, Doodlebug. I'm finally getting towards the end here a little bit. But it's nice to see everybody. Hey, Judy. We are going to do our live over Idaho today. You can see my old notes. If there's a red mark, that's old because I try to reuse my paper. I try to use both sides because it's really thick paper. So I'm going to strike to stand in solidarity with Kohberger's alibis. I like that one. Yeah, good morning to a few of you. Yeah. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching. If you're watching on a replay, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. Hey, Crime Sleuthin. Hey, Albeam. I'm starting to get towards the bottom, I think, maybe. Hey, Miss Dubai. I'm going to the lake house. Oh, actually, speaking of lakes and stuff, I thought about asking Vincent if he wanted to go away for a couple of days. We're going on vacation next month, so I mean, we could probably just wait, but I don't really want to wait. And we don't know for sure exactly when we're going. We normally go in the month of September. I'm not in Ohio for a week of the month of September. We go out to California. So when we do, I'll make sure to do some content for you guys out there as well, because it'll be so beautiful out there compared to Ohio. The sun is brighter and I like that, but I like the greenery of Ohio. So I wish we could just put a little bit of both, the best of both worlds there. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, all that good fun stuff. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, well, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Lake house for a beach house. I'm reading the chat. I'm that sounds like fun. I want to go do that. I want to go do something like that. Let me see. I got my notes here. So tomorrow night, so if you haven't been with us over the last couple of lives, we did order our Nancy Grace cardboard cutout. She's 6 foot tall, I think. She's life size. She'll be here on Wednesday, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. So we'll be covering something with Nancy Grace. I don't even know if it'll be Idaho related or if it'll be a case that we're normally covering, but we're just going to cover something because we have to, because we got our Nancy Grace cardboard cutout coming. So that'll be next week. Tomorrow night, we're going to do our giveaway for reaching 10,000 subscribers. I didn't do it last Saturday because I ended up doing both of those shows. I did one with Bryan. And so it was kind of, I didn't know how to really do the giveaway then. So I was like, let's wait till next weekend. So we're going to do it tomorrow. One of the winners, so we're going to have 3 different winners. One winner will be for the members only, and it'll be like a bigger prize. This will be a cash prize. And then for our subscribers, we'll have 2 smaller dollar amounts for those. So I'm going to actually put the membership in here. I forgot to do that. Oh my God, I got the perfect photo. She said when I was in California, tall palm trees and sunset with deep blue sky. You could take any picture in California and I swear it's just the best. And they're the best lighting ever. One of my, oh, what is going on? My screen's doing, that's weird. Okay. My screen's doing something funky. I don't know why. Oh, I bet maybe I'm pressing on something. I was about to say, don't do this to me, life. It was so weird. The screen just flashed and it was gone. So, but we're all here. Okay. We're all here. The funny thing is my watch has been going out the last couple of days. I think it's finally taken a crap on me. I've worn this every day for 5 years probably, and I don't want to go without it. Amanda, you have to go to California. Actually, let me show you real quick before we get started. I'll show you this picture. This is one of my favorite pictures because the sunlight, that's in California. That's probably maybe a quarter mile away from where Vincent grew up. And we'll probably move out there eventually. I don't see us living in Ohio for the rest of our life. I mean, he doesn't have anybody out here, other than me. So it's we might as well go, his mom and his brother's out there. It's so pretty. We went up this hill and there was these, I don't know how to describe them. I think it was they're not churches, but they're Asian buildings. I don't know. They were just beautiful. And they were so beautiful. And we just took a bunch of pictures up there. I'm going to have to show you guys some of my pictures from my trip from there. And I was teeny tiny last year, I realized. And I'm not teeny tiny this year, which I'm still small, but I'm oh, can't wear the same stuff. Because I brought extra stuff last year and I thought I would just wear it this year. And so I kept it. And, your size always changes. So never do that again. Never buy in advance because, I always end up switching. And hey, Judy there. And I think I said hi to everybody. Hopefully I did. If I didn't, oh, Deb, hi, Deb. If I didn't say hi to you, I'm sorry, but I see you. Let me see. I want to make sure I do this in the right order. So to enter the contest tomorrow, all you have to do really is just show up. Just show up. Just show up for the live and then just be here for whenever I announce the winner. I'm probably going to do it halfway through the live. That way there's a good amount of people that can enter into the drawing. And like the video too, because that doesn't help or that doesn't hurt. That could help. Bryan was found driving around. So yeah, oh my gosh. And if you guys didn't see Bryan's community post on Let's Talk Live today, it was supposed to be really funny, and it was really funny. I just didn't get the joke. He said something like, hey, Tanya, tagged me, and hey, TitaniumBuilt, do you want to go for a drive between 2 and 4 a.m.? And I didn't know. I thought he meant do you want to, when I saw drive, I thought live. So I thought it was some slang that I didn't know. And it was around 2 o'clock. And I was at the pool. I was right going to the pool. I was right there. And I'm oh, I'm at the pool right now, but I could go live in an hour. And he's no, I mean, Bryan, it's Alibi. And I was oh, yeah, that one went over my head. And I'm just leave the comment there because that's going to be entertainment for people. They're all going to come in they're all going to get me now. Everyone's going to come and be like, Tanya, what were you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Hello, Brenda. Welcome on in. I don't know why I feel like I need to look at my notes tonight. But tonight's live, we're going to go over, so it's going to be like a 2-part series kind of, but we're going to go over Bryan Kohberger's travels on November 13th. Instead of reading the PCA and skipping like around, because the PCA is written, the way it's written, it skips around. I took the time to kind of put it in order, so it might be a little bit easier to understand. That's my goal anyway. So we're just going to go over the first half of it. Bryan Kohberger, allegedly, his trip from Pullman to Moscow is what we're going to kind of see today. So it's going to be an interesting trial. You're very right. You're very, very right. It's going to be I'm ready for this trial. Now, will it happen in October? I don't think so. They already have that 37-day extension. I think that they're going to add that on. I mean, they're already asking for a stay. So they already have that extension, why not use it? But it might not be until next year. But if it is, and they use the 37-day extension, it's still going to put us out to like December, right? 37 November. Not good with math. 2024, 2025. Yeah. I'm hoping not, because I don't know if I can handle it. Please, October. I know. I'm like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know if I can handle it if we, we don't get if we don't go to trial before then, or, before 2025. Now I might make it through 2024, 2041 legendaries. I'll be like the old woman, like on the Titanic when this goes to trial. Summer will both be in a padded room. So make room for me, because we will be together. So on tonight's show, we will cover Bryan Kohberger's trip to Moscow from Pullman on the night of the crime. And I'm going to try to do my best with visuals, but if anyone has anything they want to share, please share. I did get some visuals, and I have a lot more now for the way back. And so there's only a couple videos I have for the way there. So Vincent even asked, he said, do you think you would get a lot of views if you did a video of you driving the route from Bryan's apartment to the King Road address? And I said, probably. Yeah. I mean, no one's really done it that I know of. I know Nancy did it, but she clipped hers into 10-second clips, and there's only like 3. And then that's it. There's not the whole trip. And then the other one is sped up so fast, we have to slow it down so much. So maybe we'll be taking a trip from California to Idaho while we're out there. We usually go in September. So, because I would like to make the trip from his apartment to the house, because I've read the PCA, and it gets a little hard, hard and difficult to like kind of see where they're going. So I'm going to try to help with that. Let me grab my glasses really quick and my drink. And while I'm doing that, say hello to your friend above you. Say hello to your friend below you. Say hello, friend. I'm like, where are my glasses? They're there. Hey, KK, look at that. Summer besties in here. Yeah, I really want to look for ring cameras and stuff too. Have a good night, Crime Sleuthin'. Oh, who you mod for? I want to know. I'm just curious. I'm curious. I want to know. Have a good night modding and stuff. I mean, I like to mod. I mod for Bryan's channel. I'm pretty good at it too. I go in there and I mod it up. I do. I'm like, everybody liked the video. And I'm like, I'm working, aren't I? That's what I do though. That's just my personality. That's just my personality. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. If not, I can try to blow it up a little bit. There we go. There was actually, I'll tell you about those later. So this is from a while back. This is going to be from January 25th. let me see. Yeah, January 25th, 2023. And it's Daily Mail. And this is like one of the only articles that I could find that went into detail about, you know, his alleged trip to Moscow from Pullman. Let me see. So I'm going to read through this. I'm just going to turn off my camera while I read because I'm going to kind of move up a little bit. I've been sitting in this chair for a while today. Hi, PKC. Yeah, if I can make it out there, I would do it. I mean, that's a far trip from Idaho, from California to Idaho, but if Vincent's wanting to do it, I'm down. I mean, I'll ride in the car and hang out. But he said we'd have to get a white Elantra. And if you knew him, like I knew him, like I know him, he will go get a white Elantra and do that. Just so everybody could have the visual. So yeah, look at that. Thanks, Bryan. Smash that like button. Kathy said, hey, Bryan, you driving around? And did you see the part? I don't know if you wrote back though. The part where Bryan Kohberger says his attorney says that he was driving around starting November 12th into November 13th. So that's the longest ride I've ever been on. I mean, I've ever heard of. Like, really, I mean, and I used to go on smoke rides as like a teenager, like young adult, like, you know, 8, 19, 20. We used to take little rides because we lived in a small town. So that's what we did. Don't judge me. That's what we did. But they only lasted 2 hours tops, an hour, not like 6. I mean, I don't know. How's that alibi going to work out though, when cast comes into play? And then when the footage starts coming out, like, you know, surveillance footage in trial. And somebody said earlier, I was listening to something on YouTube. It was maybe like Court TV or something. I think it's actually something I'm going to play. And they were talking, I forget, I was going to tell you guys. What were they talking? Never mind. I forget. My mind just went blank. Sorry, guys. My mind went blank. And I'm so sad. They were talking about something. I don't know. If I'll remember it. Whenever they say it, I'll remember it. They're going to say he drove by the house and went home. Yeah, no, like that's what I mean. Like there's so many different like pieces of footage from him going to and from. Like, how are they going to debunk that? I don't get it. Maybe they're going to put their own cast, expert on the stand. Oh, that's what I was going to say. They were saying that they think that if Bryan Kohberger goes with that with his alibi, I mean, that's what he's going with, that it's more likely that he will take the stand because no one's going to be able to explain it like he's going to be able to explain himself. So we'll see. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. DD Ohio girl. Yep. And that's what I was going to tell you. Yeah. 244 caught on camera leaving Pullman. Yep. So he was, you know, he was like out at 2:44 a.m., not November 12th, unless they're going to say that's maybe he was by that area. And that's why, because I know one night he touched the internet. I'm not sure if that was the night or not, though, because I know they have him there like 12 times, mostly at night, except for one time during the day. So they're going to say you have no footage of him going inside the house, just footage of him driving by. Yeah, that sounds right. Sounds right. Yeah. He was just taking a ride. He was just going on a ride. It did it again. What is going on? I don't know. That's weird. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start reading this article here. So it says exclusive. DailyMail.com retraces route cops claim Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger took on the night 4 students were stabbed to death. And if anyone ever wonders why, like, it takes me a little while to get started on the lives, I try to wait for it to where I don't have to use a lot of code words too. And they'll get you within like the first 10 minutes. So, Roberto said, I realize I've never looked at my router settings to see what devices sniffed at. Can someone teach me or on how they came up with that bit of evidence? Like how he touched it. I think it's actually in the PCA. I thought I read that today. I was reading all kinds of stuff that I didn't remember reading. And we've read these 50 times on this channel. I swear. Oh, and another thing really fast. Yeah. So, LTL. So, I did too the other day. Like I got one of the yellow things or whatever come up, and I read an article. I read the PCA. I was reading a PCA for the Long Island case, and I was like, I'm not even playing a video. But I remember you said you were having problems with that, so I am too, I guess. But it released it. So it says the route allegedly driven by Bryan Kohberger on the night of the brutal Idaho murders may be a crucial piece of evidence in the state's case against the 28-year-old suspect who is facing 4 counts of first-degree murder. DailyMail.com recently took the circuitous drive to get a clearer picture of Kohberger's alleged movements on November 13th, the night he's accused of murdering students Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. In the probable cause affidavit filed on December 29th, Corporal Brett Payne laid out how investigators believe the alleged killer traveled the roughly 10 miles from his Pullman, Washington apartment to the home in Moscow, Idaho, and subsequently fled the scene after the brutal slayings. Payne combined cell phone data from Kohberger's number and CCTV footage of multiple sightings of the suspect's white Hyundai Elantra to stitch together a fairly tight timeline surrounding the stabbing deaths. Oh, there's a good picture of his hands. Guess we could look at these pictures. Because I remember like someone was asking me if he had gloves on in this picture or something. But nope. Looks like he just washes them a lot. Because it's not like his whole arm. It's like up to his wrist. You guys notice that? Hey, Wolfie. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, guys. His hands are like. Now, I'm going to say this. My brother's OCD. You don't get rid of it. But he doesn't do this anymore. But he used to, and I swear to you, he would wash his hands. He would dry them off, and then he would go to the doorknob and he had to click it twice, like turn it twice. And then he would go back to the sink and he would repeat the process all over again. And he would do this 18 different times to the point where someone had to force him out of the bathroom a lot of times. Like, stop washing your hands. They're clean. Like, it was just obsessive. But my brother's hands had never, ever looked like that. Brillo pad to your hands? I don't know. That's just like maybe a little guilt or something, washing away your sins. I don't know, but I'm just looking at it. I'm like, because I thought at first it was a circulation issue because I have bad circulation, but it's red all the way up to like the wrist. It almost looks like he was scrubbing with like a chemical. You think it looks like a blood issue? Yeah, that's true. I wonder if it's from gripping them. I don't know. It is really, man, that's a bad circulation, isn't it? Look at puffy hand syndrome. Okay. Well, that came right up. A rare manifestation due to continuous intravenous drug abuse. Oh, let me see an image. I don't want to scare you guys, but oh my Lord. But these don't, well, this one looks almost kind of red, but that one's almost like, I'm going to share this tab with you, just a warning. There's no, nothing too gross, I don't think, but they are very puffy. Like some of these just look too puffy. They don't look red enough. But it would make sense if he did it intravenously. I wonder what his feet look like. I'm just curious now. I know that sounds gross, but I don't want to show you guys them shooting up on there. But yeah, because you know what I mean? I'm just curious if his feet look like his hands. That's why I'm, wondering. But this one right here looks purpley. Purple glove syndrome. Oh, should we look that up? We're going to diagnose them. And then I'm going to bill them. No, that don't look like it either. Oh, okay. I've seen enough healthy looking stuff for the night. Healthy stuff, like health wise. Oh, no. Yeah, it was the other one wasn't very good. Hey, Terry. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, Doug. Welcome in, TF. Hey, everybody. We're making our way to tonight's live, but we're just going through these pictures as of right now. But we are going to be talking about Bryan Kohberger's travels from his apartment in Pullman to the Moscow, Idaho house. We're reading over an article from the 25th, and I'm going to play this video shortly. She has this video sped up like so fast that, I mean, you can't even see. It's just so fast. So I'm going to slow it all the way down and then play it for you here shortly. This is the drive back to his house. Like, these are the back roads. Like, this one doesn't even have any lines on it. A lot of the roads, they didn't even have like lines or anything on them. I don't know if I could. Oh, no. Can I exit out of this somehow? I'm trying to like go back to the actual article. There we go. That was weird. So we were down here. Okay. But yeah, his hands are extremely purple. And I think we've saw all these too. Yeah, that's the same ones. Yeah, and I'm going to show you this video. See how fast it goes? So I'm going to slow it down for you guys a little bit. We'll play it here shortly though. And so it says here, the first thing that sticks out while driving the route is that it is not an efficient or direct drive from Kohberger's apartment to the crime scene and contains an out of the way detour as well as a dangerous roundabout ride home. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm going to unplug this and plug it back in because I think that'll help. Okay, let's see if that makes it better. Sorry, guys. Nope, it just did it again. That's so weird. I'll have to have Vincent look at it later tonight. So if I just stop reading for a second, that's because the screen goes away for a minute. And then let me pull this back up. It's probably because we're running hot over here with all of our lives. Okay, so I'm going to continue to read here. Sorry, guys. The first thing that sticks out while driving the route is that it's not an efficient or direct drive from Kohberger's apartment to the crime scene and contains an out-of-the-way detour as well as a dangerous roundabout ride home. According to police, suspect Kohberger's phone went off the grid at approximately 2:45 a.m. near his Washington State University apartment at a location just before reaching Pullman-Moscow Highway, Route 270, the main thoroughfare between the two cities. And I actually have, let me see here. I want to make sure I have it on the right route. Okay. But you can see 270s here. And then that's the King Road residence. And then I have his address in over here. So it should have taken him anywhere from 18 to 22 minutes to get to the crime scene and then to get back home from the crime scene. And we'll go over the PCA, a couple parts of it too. It says, investigators surmise that Kohberger turned off his phone or put it in airplane mode to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence per the affidavit. And where he turned his phone, or where he put his phone in airplane mode, is like downtown Pullman. So it wouldn't have been where it went out of service. It was like out of service. It was definitely either turned off or in airplane mode. When Kohberger's vehicle is then allegedly spotted via CCTV at 3:26 a.m., it is on the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive, an out-of-the-way street in a small residential enclave of nicely manicured single-family homes in Moscow, Idaho. And that's the road that's right behind the King Road residence. Kohberger didn't linger in the area long or appear to make any stops on Indian Hills Drive, and according to the timeline from police, his car is then picked up just 2 minutes later, leaving the neighborhood. From there, Kohberger's vehicle allegedly makes its way to the victim's home, the residential off-campus neighborhood where Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee were brutally stabbed to death is surrounded by several other single-family homes in very close proximity, as well as a small apartment complex with a parking lot that butts up against the back of the victim's rental property. As seen in dailymails.com's exclusive video, which I'll show you in a minute, the roads around the home are tight. 2 cars can't pass comfortably with no easy exit point since it dead ends into a parking lot. It is not a convenient or easy area to cruise around, and police noted a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Keeping with the police timeline, the suspect car is then seen near the home around 3:30 a.m. when all of the roommates, as well as Ethan Chapin, would have been inside for the night. It is around then that Kohberger's car is spotted allegedly casing the house by driving past it 3 times over the course of 30 minutes. When he exits the streets, he does so via Walenta Drive. And I can show you that really quick. Just trying to get it to where you guys can see it. So there's 1122 where the cursor is. And this is Walenta right beside it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I should move the iPad over so I can see the chat better. Sorry, guys. When I'm reading, I have to be on a different page, and I hate that so much for us because then I can't see the chat that well. It's like, okay, that's fine. I just trying to figure out where we were. Okay. When he exits the street, he does so via Walenta Drive, which offers a direct line of sight into the back of the home. Many people have asked how the perpetrator knew the roommates were asleep, and this movement of the timeline may answer that. The vantage point here would show if any lights were on, indicating that someone may be awake in the kitchen, as well as the 3 bedrooms facing the back belonging to Kaylee, Maddie, and survivor Dylan Mortensen. I think these are all ones that we've seen. So, continuing to follow the timeline, Xander Kernodle gets a DoorDash delivery at 4 a.m. Around 4:04, cops say Kohberger does a 4th and final pass in front of the house, making a 3-point turn at the apartment complex next door. The apartment parking lot loops around the complex and connects to the victim's sparse wooded backyard, which is on a small slope that leads to the patio and sliding glass doors. The slope from the parking lot to the home is short and steep in some parts, but relatively easy terrain on the side near Dylan Mortensen's 2nd floor room. So They're saying like over here, where like the grill is on that side of the house would be better to go down than to try to come up. And that makes sense to me because I didn't know how they would really get up that like that back hill very easily. Daily Mail parked in one of the spots facing the home and could see into all of the back windows on the second and third floors. It would take just a few moments from exiting the car to reach the sliding glass doors, the killer's believed entry point. The neighborhood is very compact with dozens of windows facing all sides of the home. It is known based on the affidavit that dog barking, whimpering, and a loud thud were picked up on a security camera nearest to Xana's bedroom at 4:17 a.m. The barking is thought to be from the dog Kaylee Gonzalez shared with her ex-boyfriend, which was found unharmed the next day in her third floor bedroom. At 4:20 a.m., the suspect vehicle was allegedly spotted peeling out of the King Road location at a high rate of speed and taking Walenta Drive out of the neighborhood, according to police. Based on CCTV footage of the white Hyundai and an eyewitness account from surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen, who was awake at the time of the killings, investigators have narrowed down the time frame of the killings to between 4:04 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., a window of roughly 15 minutes. So 4:04 to 4:20. Everybody that says 9 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, no, roughly 15 minutes. There is a large gap in time where police have to make an educated guess as to the suspect's movements between 4:20 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. Since his phone was still off the grid and no CCTV footage has so far turned up during that time frame. I believe the suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse Drive, River Drive, and Conestoga Drive. Palouse River Drive is at the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Corporal Payne wrote in his sworn affidavit. The route from Walenta Drive to Palouse River Drive goes straight through another residential area, and DailyMail.com noted many of those well-appointed homes were outfitted with video doorbells and security systems. And I think you guys, I think you guys know that we went over it on one of our lives that there is one of the roads. Oh, my camera's not even on. What is going on? But we saw that there was a video footage from one of the roads from Walenta. And it was Walenta that goes into Ridge Road. So I'm going to share this with you actually really quick. The 620 right here. See how it's blurred out? Yeah, see? They blurred this whole house out. Just like they were doing with all the other ones that were that had cameras. Now let's see. What is going on with my camera? I want to turn my camera on, but it's not wanting to turn on for me. What is going on with my live tonight, guys? Maybe we've been heating this place up too much with all the lights. We'll see if that, we'll see. We'll have to see if that works. I want you guys to be able to like see me, you know? Yeah, Patty. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Okay, I'm like so mad at my camera right now. I turned it off and I turned it back on. We're going to try it again. Why do people keep saying that Magic Johnson passed away? Like they do that every once in a while. He's still alive and kicking it. I'm like so mad right now. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That's very weird, guys. There it is. There it is. That's weird. Okay, sorry. I don't know why that did that, but that's really weird. That's very weird. I need my vape now. Oh, okay, yeah. Felt like burns. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I'll pull that up here in just a minute. Thanks, Wolfie. And there's Cheryl. I don't yeah, no, people like they come in before and said that like Magic Johnson died. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Is he? Let's see. I don't know. Says he's in fact well and live on my side. So or we'd be like, that would be awful. Okay, so we'll get back to this part here. And I have all of this in the affidavit. I try to do like I highlighted the sections of the affidavit that we're going to talk about tonight. So I didn't realize that this was going to go in this in depth though. I only got to read like half of this article. So it says, as stated in the affidavit, the road cops think Kohberger took out of Moscow eventually leads to Pullman, Washington, which means his most likely route would have taken him through a treacherous journey of muddy, pitch dark backcountry roads south of Moscow. There were no street lights or street signs along much of the drive, and the roads were narrow and full of deep potholes in places. Sounds like where I grew up. When Daily Mail took the drive in broad daylight, it was desolate and easy to miss turns. However, in darkness, it was near impossible to see and required driving well below the speed limit in order not to accidentally drive into the deep irrigation trenches that lined the road on both sides. Yeah. And I don't know, like where you guys grew up, if you guys grew up with like back roads, but they always end up having the gravel on the side of the roads too. So if you hit that little piece of gravel, like you're in fear of your car going off the road. So always be careful on back roads. Without the help of GPS, it would have been extremely difficult to get from point A to point B without intimate knowledge of the area. Bearing that in mind, it's possible that the suspect's phone was allegedly turned back on or taken out of airplane mode to utilize the GPS. Police said Kohberger's phone pinged a cell tower south of Moscow, Idaho at 4:48 a.m. Does he look a lot different to you guys now? I feel like he's looking different. Like he looks a lot different. Like he looks tired here. He don't look as tired now. He must be getting some rest. It says it can be speculated that the route back was allegedly chosen due to the lack of any CCTV cameras, but it also may have provided several opportunities to discard any alleged weapon. It's unclear if police have searched the area, and I'm sure they have, and the fixed blade K-bar knife presumably used in the crime has yet to be located. By 5:25 a.m., Kohberger's car is allegedly captured again on camera on Johnson Road, which is the route that connects the back roads below Moscow back to Pullman. He is then allegedly seen no less than he's allegedly seen on no less than 5 cameras on the Washington State University campus heading back to his apartment. I'm going to write that time down. Okay. Despite arriving home at 5:30 a.m. on November 13th, Kohberger's phone pinged at 9 a.m., suggesting he was on the move again. And cell phone data places Kohberger back in the vicinity of King Road. Kohberger, a PhD criminology student at Washington State University, was arrested at his family home in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania on December 30th for the murders of the 4 students. Last week, unsealed court documents revealed that investigators believe that Kohberger likely transferred blood from the crime scene to his apartment in Pullman, Washington after the murders via blood splatter or cast-off. Well, if it's not on that pillow or the bed mattress cover, if that doesn't come back as one of the victims, then it probably will come back as Kohberger's, I would assume. Then they didn't find any blood in his apartment of the victims. While executing a search warrant on his home, law enforcement seized stained bedding, strands of what looked like hair, and a single glove, among other things. Kohberger has maintained his innocence, but has yet to formally enter a plea and has said through an attorney that he expects to be exonerated. And I think that's all of the article there. Yeah, of that one. So, yeah. he expects to be exonerated. This was from, and this was also from January the 25th. So I want to remind you guys, it's a little bit older, but that's why I wanted to use it. And I do have this drive. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to play it. We're going to kind of just talk through it. I'm not going to play him talking because, I mean, it's just this guy that I found on YouTube. But I will put his link in the chat if anyone wants to go check him out. He's probably like, why is this girl watching my video? Because I've watched it like 15 times, I feel like. And he has 270 views, and I've probably viewed 70 of them. No, not that many, but I viewed him a lot. And it's just him going from Pullman, Washington from WSU to Moscow, Idaho, to the U of I. And you can see on the sign here, it says Stadium Way. Now, I don't know what the other one says on this road, the road that's going the other way. I can't read that sign. Could that be, does it say Johnson or something on it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to show you this video, and he's coming off a Stadium Way, just like Bryan Kohberger did according to the PCA. And I'm going to read part of the PCA here in just a minute as well. So switch these two. And then I'm going to show you the Daily Mail one as well. So, because that's going to take you, like the one that the Daily Mail did, I'm going to slow that one down a lot. It's going to take us from Bryan Kohberger's house to the crime scene, and then making those, 3-point turns and all that stuff, and then coming back to his house. So this one, I'm going to speed up a little bit because it is like 8 minutes long. That way we'll do it like this. See. I wish I could see what that says right there. And like I showed you before, there are like multiple different ways to get there, but this is just one of the ways. And it's just going to like be able to give you guys a better understanding of like the back roads and how how he could get from point A to point B. And I'm going to show you like 2 different ways. So I should write that road down. And now I can actually read the chat for a minute. Since we're just watching this guy take a little stroll, I'm going to grab my drink. Did we have someone in here that was being stupid, Summer? Oh, I could pull up the picture too of Wolfies while we're watching this nice little cruise. I don't see it yet. Oh, wait, my email wasn't working, though. I think I have to look on my phone. I think I need to sign back in or something. I don't see it. I'm trying to see if I can find it. There it is. Oh, no, Wolfie. Your poor hands. They do kind of look like Bryan's. Oh man, did you have those burns for a while, Wolfie? And do you mind if I share? Because that looks like it could be more of like a chemical burn. Let's see. Like, how do I do this? I'm not as fast as most people. It's a nice little drive, though. Hates to fly, but loves to drive. Andy, that's what I said too last night. That's exactly what I said last night. I said he'll make his dad fly out from Pennsylvania to Washington, but he's cool driving on these roads. You know, and there was less, I think a little bit less snow than this. Like the night of the homicides, there was just like a dusting. I don't know about Washington, but I know that Pullman, or I mean, sorry, not Pullman, but Moscow, they had like a little bit of a dusting still. And I think the next day or the following day is when they got that big old snow pour. Like it just came down. So yeah, his alibi wasn't very good. Well, his alibi is he was driving by himself. He's known to take late night drives. I've never heard that about him, but okay, you know. Okay. He started driving November the 12th and he drove until November the 13th. So he drove, they have him on camera until at 5:30 in the morning driving on the 13th. So are we supposed to say that he was driving from like 11 p.m. or before on the 12th all the way until 5:30 a.m. on the 13th? Where was he driving to? Like, I mean, for 6 hours. That's one hell of a drive, you know? It's one hell of a drive. You would think that they would want to, Roberto. I know that, like, Vincent's from LA, went to Ohio State, but he lived in Michigan and went to school there for a minute. And he took the trip, I think, twice from California to Michigan. I would never do it. Oh, you got like a cream? Yeah, no, I mean, I'd have been like, help me. That happened to me though once, Wolfie. I got a chemical burn from, it was so crazy. It was, what was I doing? I was using multiple chemicals. That was my problem. I was using everything, any cleaner you could think of, bleach, all kinds of stuff. I was just using it all. And so, all of a sudden, like my hands like got real red. Like, and then it just started going down my arm and I couldn't, like, it was like a claw. I couldn't move my hand. It was just like stuck. It was so crazy. Oh, it's about over. So this is him going into Moscow. So it really doesn't take that long. I did have this on 1.5 times, but I mean, it doesn't take that long at all to get from, you know, one town to the other. So I just wanted to kind of show you that there. And I'm going to pull up these pictures. Okay. He's pretty much there. Oh, yeah, that's him. I don't know what that is, but I'm like, I don't know what that one was, but let me pull this picture up and then, oh, I think one of them didn't send. But your hand, that's what mine looked like. Wolfie, mine looked the same way. Why was it canceled? Okay, I'll just show this one picture here. Keeps canceling the other one, but this is the one that you sent, one of the ones you sent me. That could be, I mean, he could have been scrubbing with like a chemical. Super sensitive skin, oh yeah. I wonder if the soap I have would be good for you. I sell soap at my store. It's like charcoal soap. It's supposed to be really good for you, but it might dry you out. I don't want it to dry your hands out. But that could be it. I think he was scrub-a-dubbing. Maybe he was trying to scrub the blood off of them. You know what I mean? Like, I know that that's like, it wasn't there anymore, but maybe he was still seeing it. Maybe it was something, you know, in his head and he had to do that. That's what, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of why you would wash your hands obsessively like that. So I am going to have these color coordinated for you guys because we're going to have like a couple different lives over this. I'm going to have one over, you know, just him going from Pullman to the King Road residence. And then we'll do on our tomorrow's live, we'll do him leaving the King Road residence, and then everything that kind of unfolded that night. So that's how we'll kind of start the live or do the live tomorrow. But the yellow is going to be him going from his house to the King Road residence. Just trying to see which pages I wanted to start on. Okay, so up here it looks like. I tried to go in order too, as much as I could according to the PCA. I had papers everywhere today. It was crazy. Let me blow this up a little bit. Because there are parts in time that aren't accounted for. I wish I had a huge whiteboard so I can just write it all out because I'm a visual person, but this is the next best thing. And how are you doing, Laughing Stock? Last time I flew, the plane couldn't land. Really? Oh, Sally Bay. Oh, don't tell me that. Kohberger at 4 a.m. seen on security camera at the car wash, pressure washing his car's interior. Didn't somebody actually do that? I think somebody did that. They were in a truck and they power washed the inside of the truck. They were caught on camera. Yes, there's some sort of Tide. The powder Tide, I can't use it. I'm allergic to that. So I'm going to go over this kind of quickly with you guys. It's because it's basically everything that was in the it was in the article we just read. And then I will show you the video that has Caitlin from Daily Mail going from Pullman to Washington, or Pullman to Moscow. So it says on November 13th, 2022 at approximately 2:42 a.m., the 8458, and that's Kohberger's cell phone, was utilizing cellular resources that provided coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, Pullman, Washington. Hereafter, the Kohberger residence. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that provided coverage southeast of the Kohberger residence, consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the Kohberger residence and traveling south through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in an area without cellular coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode, or that the phone is turned off. And I was telling you guys earlier, when I looked up those roads, it was like downtown Pullman, so they would have cellular towers. So his phone wasn't like out in the country somewhere where it wasn't getting service. It was either turned off or in airplane mode, I believe. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95, south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho, town north of Genocide. I think those are the ones I wanted to read you there. And then this one. Additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, and the lack of the 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. is consistent with Kohberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence. I don't know why he didn't just get like a burner phone. Like he was going to school for criminology, but he was going to help police departments with their IT and their technological data and processing it for criminals. You would have thought. Good night, Isabel. Good night, sweetie. I'm trying to find the page I wanted to go to next. There's only a few more that I wanted to read you, so. Let's go back up here a little bit. I think it's right here. Okay. So this is going to be the next time that they pick him up. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. I was going to, I was going to show you, like, I'll try to show you it. That might help. Okay. Just get this up for whenever we're ready. So it says that he was at approximately 3:26 a.m. in westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood show multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 entering or starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road. And I will pull the map up here for you guys. This might just help, just so you have a visual while I'm reading through it. It says these sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road, and that's where the little red dot is. Actually, I don't think that's on the right spot. It's not. Why are we over there? There we go. Trying to put it there. They really don't like me today. So it's over here. I don't know why they're doing that like that, but okay. And there we go. I'm like, why is it not going there? Let me go back to where I was reading. So it's suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King residence, and then he leaves via Wallington Drive. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time at approximately 4:04. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, which King Road and Queen are like the same, but on King Road there. Stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, apartment number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appears to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Wallington Drive. So that kind of gives you just like a little bit of a visual. And I'm going to show you that video too. So that will that'll kind of help. I'm going to just leave the volume off on it again because like I said, it's pretty fast. And I think I have it down as far as it'll go. So basically, she's going to go from Kohberger's apartment to the King Road residence. And then she does all the little turns. And then she goes back to Kohberger's apartment. So basically, for this live, we just really need to watch from him driving to his apartment to the King Road residence. And I would leave the volume on, but it's really slow. So it would probably be really, really bad audio. But it's not a very long video. And you can see it's pretty fast. I'm going to try to play it twice for you guys too. There we go. Let me do that again. Sorry, I didn't know I could do that. Sorry about that, guys. That might make it a little easier to see it, right? I wish I would have been able to find a video of them doing this at night, but I couldn't find the Nancy Grace. She did a whole clip. She did the whole drive. I just cannot find it to save my soul. And I haven't looked through my old lives. Yeah, like if you go for a cruise, that's like one thing, you go for a little drive. But for that long, 6 hours, I mean, they're saying that he started driving before on November 12th. So I'm like, wow. Man, she goes fast on this. She really speed this up. Oh, because you've been a member for 6 months, Elisa. Look at that. Welcome to the 6-month crew. That means that you are an OG. You're officially an OG of the channel. We're going to have to make a 1-year badge. That's awesome. Okay, let's begin, CEO said. And then, what is it saying there? 2:53 a.m., cameras captured white Elantra or Hyundai heading towards Moscow, Idaho. The scenery is really pretty out there, though. But you wouldn't be able to see it at night. It doesn't even look like there's lights on this road at night, from what I can see. So it's going to be extremely dark. Extremely dark. And he doesn't have like he doesn't have a bad car, but I don't think he has like the car where it's going to have like pretty good lights where, you get like the crossing the border from Washington to Idaho now. Like where they have like the LED lights. I think they're just gonna be regular and they're probably not gonna be that great. That almost looks like a launcher in front of her. Yeah, they got him leaving and returning to Pullman. Yeah. That's awesome that you got your arm. You're getting the car sick. Is that almost looks like an launcher in front of him. In front of her. She's like cruising. I think she's in Moscow now. Yeah, this is Moscow. So she's in there now. Like she's in the town now. We judging how you're driving, girl. This is I believe this is Walenta right here. So this is going to be the road that's behind the King Road residence, I believe. Yeah, Indian Hills Drive, because that's what Walenta is. Indian Hills. It's the same. It like just turns into Indian Hills for just a short period of time. So they got him at 328 Steiner Avenue and 95 towards King Road. I think this is Taylor, isn't it? No, maybe not. It is. I think it is Taylor because I think she's going to go by Sigma Chi. Yeah. So that's Sigma Chi. So that's Taylor. I don't even live in the area and I'm starting to know the area. And I can't do the area. So this is the house right here. Okay. So she made it to the house. And now she's going to go past it a couple of times. It's only like a minute longer. I slowed this all the way down. Can you believe it? Tanya, are you driving? No, this isn't me driving. I drive a little better than this, maybe. She's not even sped up. I actually slowed her down. That's the funny thing. Whenever this is on regular speed, it's like, zoom. I'm like, what? But I'll play it on regular speed next time so you guys can see it too. Because I just saw it all the way down just so we could like get it this good. So this is when allegedly the car makes the 3 passes by the house. And this was done in January. We now have that Linda Lane footage. I don't know if it's legit his car. I can't tell from the footage if it's what kind of car it is, if it's even a white car. It could be a silver car. I don't know what kind of, silver looks like white in a camera. So we've seen that we did a camera show. But she's going to do it. So this is the way that she's going to do it. So I think she actually slows down the thing here. So for a minute, maybe, nope, there she goes so fast. And right there, she doesn't go all the way down to Linda Lane because in the probable cause affidavit, it does state that he turns around in front of apartment number 52, 500 Queen, and that's where she was turning around at. So I do believe that. I mean, I don't know if the footage is real, but I don't think the audio is. Or I know that's not, actually. And then that's her going back to, past the house. And then this is going to be the way that he exited. So he took, a different way home than when he arrived. And it's only a minute longer, so. I would love to go there just to see the scenery. Like the mountains and everything, they look beautiful in the background. I can get myself a little apartment there for like $550 a month. I think it was like $550 or something. I can't remember for sure. Oh, that was her going towards the back of the house. Sorry about that. I think she drives all the way back too. It says, at this point, the alleged route is a bit of a mystery and pieced together based on the investigator's knowledge of the area. I know that if I was going to school out there, he just got out there. What was it? When did he go out there? May? I do this every time I count, 6 months. I wouldn't know the area that well to not have my phone with me as a backup. So I think that's why he took his phone that night. I think that he just kind of, he didn't even I think that he didn't realize it even. And that's why maybe he put it in airplane mode. He was like, oh crap, I'd have it with me, but I'm not sure. I don't know why he took it with him, but I do think that part of the reason is for the GPS. I just don't think that he made that. I don't think he planned that one through. And Bombshell Chick, you're right. BK is guilty, and I think he's loving the attention he's getting from this. Oh, I think so too. Does anyone have a question? Who's driving? Oh, it's Caitlin from Daily Mail. Oh no, so it's just showing you the way that he actually went. This is the back of the way. So this is the back way when he went home. It's like see these roads, she even says on here, well, it's kind of hard to pause it, but right here. So these are like the back roads that I grew up on. There's no pavement half the time. There is no lines, we're not getting lines there. You might see a horse and buggy. The Amish may be there. That's just where I'm from. That's what this looks like to me. And then imagine driving this at night. You would have to have your brights on, be driving slow. I mean, these are pretty windy country roads. I might close out some of these windows. I feel like I have so many open. And then it says, here's where his phone pings for the first time since 2:44 a.m. in a location, Idaho, south of Moscow. This literally looks like the roads I grew up on. You can see the big potholes that she was just talking about too earlier. She was talking about the potholes. Yeah. 18-wheeler had not, yeah. they'll be driving just as fast on those roads. Like, and if you're not going fast, people are going to like, they're going to ride your butt on those roads because there's the people that are used to them, you know. She's driving. Hey, chicks. I like the little chickies. That's cute. But I did want to show you guys just a couple short videos over Bryan Kohberger's alibi, because the boy's got one, you know. Has anybody not heard Bryan Kohberger's alibi? If you haven't heard of Bryan Kohberger's alibi, just put a 1 in the chat. I think everybody else, I mean, I don't need everyone else to put a 2, because I think everyone else would be like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. But if you guys don't know, it's really easy. So I can just tell you right now. If you're just joining us, his alibi is that he was driving the night of the homicides from November 12th through November 13th. He was driving and he was alone. That's his alibi. He was driving because he's known to take night drives, which we've never heard. I've never heard that yet. And he was by himself. A witness at trial, they may say something, one of the witnesses on the stand, that they may say something that could possibly corroborate his alibi, but he doesn't have one. So his alibi is, and essentially, I just thought you were being funny because you said 3. Essentially is just he was driving around that night. I thought for sure, say, I don't know where I'm at. Or if you're going to say you're driving around, say that you're driving around between the hours of 2:44 and 5:30 in the morning, not November 12th. Like, make it believable a little bit. They're making it so hard on themselves, I feel like. So I just saw that this came out like right before I was getting ready to come on the live. So I wanted to watch this with you guys. It's from Court TV. So I'm going to play this here. If you guys wouldn't mind just taking a second, hitting the like button, really helps your girl out. And I love seeing the little rainbow arms in the chat. It's so fun. If you guys are just now joining us, I will tell you guys again before I get off the live too. I'll try to remind you guys. We are doing a giveaway tomorrow. So we're going to do our cash giveaway. If you're a member of the channel, you will have a better chance of, winning, because we're going to do one for the members only. And then we'll do 2 smaller amounts for our regular, subscribers. So if you guys want to come and check it out tomorrow, we'll be doing the live at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be doing the live drawing. I'm not sure exactly when, between 9:30. So that's the only stipulation. You just have to be here for it. So, or if on a replay or whatever,
For the first time, we're hearing an alibi from alleged murderer Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 college students last November. Kohberger now says he was all alone the night of the murders, going for a late-night drive. With an alibi like that, experts say Kohberger himself may have to take the stand.
I think Kohberger has to testify to get the information exactly the way they want it in this motion.
28-year-old Kohberger is charged in the quadruple murder that shocked the nation when 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home on November 13th of last year. Investigators used DNA recovered from a knife sheath left at the crime scene to connect Kohberger to the case. In late December, he was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania.
Detectives arrested 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee.
Surviving roommates of the victims later admitted to seeing a suspect in their home the night of the murders, describing the figure as, quote, 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. Prosecutors allege Kohberger matches that description. After his extradition to Latah County, Idaho, he was charged with all 4 murders.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the defendant, Bryan C. Kohberger, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogen, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogen, from which she died.
This week, Kohberger's defense team unveiled his alibi, but it may have left more questions than answers.
The strange thing about this case, though, is Kohberger can't say specifically when and where he was at the time of the murders. He can only say that I was on one of these routine drives in a car. So it's kind of sort of an alibi, but kind of sort of not an alibi.
Law and Crime Network host and public defender Bryan Buckmeyer says it's common for prosecutors to request alibi information from the defense ahead of trial.
So in a lot of states, Idaho included, the defense is obligated to give what's called an alibi notice. It's if there is an alibi where a defendant can say, I was at this place and at this time when a crime occurred at this place and this time, and therefore it could not have been me. Either it's through the defendant's own words, oftentimes it's corroborated with this witness, or this video can explain why I was not there.
On July 27th, Latah County prosecutors filed a motion to compel Kohberger's defense to provide the state with a notice of alibi. According to court documents, prosecutors were looking for a, quote, specific place or places at which the defendant claims to have been at the time of the burglary and homicides in the case, and the names and addresses of all witnesses upon whom the defendant intends to rely to establish such alibi. On August 2nd, Kohberger's defense filed an objection to the state's motion, shedding some light on what they say is his alibi. But according to Buckmeyer, some pieces are missing.
I would say it's like a three-legged chair. Like it's still a chair, but it's definitely missing like a very important piece to the point that it might wobble and fall apart. But you err on the side of, I'm the defense, I'm going to file this motion, because in some states they're very strict, and I think the defense hinted at this in their motion, that they do not want this information to be excluded because they did not present it within the statutory time that you're supposed to provide an alibi. So it's, again, it's kind of sort of is an alibi, but it doesn't have the specificity or that fourth leg of this is exactly where I was at this exact time and why I could not have committed this crime.
According to court documents, Kohberger, quote, has long had a habit of going for drives alone. The defense alleges that's what Kohberger was doing the night of the murders, but can't give much more information. The motion reads in part, quote, Mr. Kohberger is not claiming to be at a specific location at a specific time. At this time, there is not a specific witness to say precisely where Mr. Kohberger was at each moment of the hours between late night November 12th, 2022 and early morning November 13th, 2022.
And in my mind, knowing the rules of evidence, at best, you can get someone up on the stand to say, yes, we looked at the cell phone history and they're seeing.
I didn't mean to interrupt this nice gentleman here, but I was reading something in the chat and it had me thinking. So, okay, you know what would come in handy right now for Kohberger if he had it? I mean, he probably don't have it, but this is what would have come in handy for him. An Apple Watch. Because if you would have had your Apple Watch on, sir, it would have told you turn by turn where you were that night on your little watch when you put your little maps in there. And you would have got turn-by-turn directions, and you would have had an alibi. Bet he wishes he probably would have had a little Apple Watch, but I don't think that would have helped him, so. But something like that would have, or navigation in his car. I mean, it's going to, whatever the cast ends up coming and whatever they end up getting for him, like, it's going to be detrimental to the case, for his case.
Seems to be a habit of these late-night drives to X and Y location. Some are to the university where the 4 victims are. Some are to other locations. But to specifically say, you know why this person is doing this, that would be a speculation, and that's an objection.
Buckmeyer explains having someone else testify about Kohberger's whereabouts could get tricky when it comes time for trial.
Even if, let's say hypothetically, my wife sees me every day drive and leave the house at 9 a.m., and come back at 5 p.m. and I tell her I'm at work, she would have to testify based on the words that I say, and that would be hearsay.
Though Kohberger's defense says there's no one who could corroborate his alibi right now, court documents show Kohberger, quote, indicated he anticipates corroborating witnesses. The motion continues saying, quote, corroboration of Bryan Kohberger not being at 1122 King may be brought out through cross-examination of the state's witnesses. At this time, Mr. Kohberger cannot be more specific about the possible witnesses and exactly what they will say. But Buckmeyer says Kohberger's testimony may be the best way to corroborate the claim.
How would someone even seeing Kohberger drive off know what and why he's doing these solo rides? In my mind, I think Kohberger has to testify to get the information exactly the way they want it in this motion.
That being said, Buckmeyer says Kohberger's testimony isn't guaranteed.
And I think they're going to try their best to get this information in without Kohberger. But at best, in my mind, I think it'll be speculation. It'll again go back to experts saying his cell phone travels to and from locations at times that could not have been connected to this crime. But then the prosecution gets to come up and say, all right, maybe he's scouting other places. Maybe he's scouting where to dump bodies. Maybe he's scouting where to dump evidence. Maybe he's scouting to do whatever they can speculate at. And I think that pulls away from the defense's argument to say, hey, he's just a graduate student who needs some time to blow off steam and drive around. Because the only one who can for sure say that, if these are solo rides, in my mind, would be Kohberger.
The defense's use of this alibi isn't guaranteed either.
Just because you give notice that there is an alibi, it doesn't mean that this is 100% what you're going to say at trial. The defense has every right, because again, it's the prosecution's burden to put on the case. They have no burden to put on any evidence. They could come up to trial and simply say, Your Honor, we gave you notice of this alibi, but the prosecution could even prove their case. So there's no reason for us to put on a case. We have no burden, but you definitely want to give notice so you're not excluded from using it in the future.
A lengthy preliminary hearing in Kohberger's case was scheduled for June, but those court dates were scrapped when the prosecution moved forward with grand jury proceedings. Kohberger's defense referenced this in their newly filed court documents, writing, quote, "The defense has been hampered by the state's own choices. The state chose a secret grand jury rather than the planned preliminary hearing. Had the state moved forward with the preliminary hearing, the defense would have had the opportunity to develop testimony through cross-examination and witness presentation."
The defense, I think, is making the appropriate argument that the prosecution pulled that away from them. If the prosecution never said how they were going to go about this case and never said we're going to go towards preliminary hearing, as we all assumed was going to happen, the defense wouldn't have this argument.
As Kohberger's trial date looms, Buckmeyer says there are two important allegations the defense must work to combat: Kohberger's DNA on the knife sheath and information from the victim's roommate about a suspect seen the night of the murders.
With a defense, especially a defense like this, if you are perceiving that you're going to win, which every defense attorney who takes on a case should have that mindset, it's going to be a victory through 1,000 blows. So you take it one piece at a time. You say, all right, here's my alibi or my client's alibi. He was somewhere else. Then the other issue is the DNA on the sheath. I think the other one will probably be identification of these bushy eyebrows.
But Buckmeyer says the defense's case isn't hopeless.
I've always made the point of, I think many of us have been to college. You go to, especially what would be considered the party house. And after that, you'd be like, you find this person's sweater and this person's shoe and this person's wallet. Things get left at the party house all the time. And sometimes they're there just because someone picks it up in the surrounding area, thinks it's cool, and leaves it in the party house. Maybe that's how that sheath got there. Maybe it does belong to Bryan Kohberger, but it wasn't.
I'm just going to stop him right there. Why would Maddie be sleeping with a knife sheath? Like, I mean, I can understand you leaving it at a party, you know. You're at a party, you have your knife and your knife sheath, because that's what, so they're sorority girls, and that's what sorority and fraternity people, you know, brothers and sisters, they carry knife sheaths and knives around with them on the regular. I've never seen that, but you know, and then they just, or maybe they found the knife sheath outside and they were like, oh, this is pretty cool. This little leather knife sheath with no knife. I think I'm going to bring it inside, take it to the 3rd floor, and I'm going to put this in Maddie Mogan's bed. I'm just going to do it. Like, this guy is very handsome with his nice pearly white teeth, but come on, sir.
Brought there by him. Maybe they can attack the DNA to say the DNA wasn't collected properly, cross-contamination. It's not him because they didn't analyze it correctly, whatever it may be. But I think that's another very large mountain they've got to climb to try to bring reasonable doubt to this case.
A not guilty plea was entered on Kohberger's behalf. Last month, a Latah County judge granted a 37-day stay of court proceedings. Right now, his trial is set to begin tentatively on October 2nd. Ahead of that, though, he's due back in court on August 18th. Reporting for Law and Crime Network.
Reporting for Law and Crime Network, she said. So yeah, Bryan's alibi is that, you know, he was busy driving around. He just had things to do that night. He didn't feel like cleaning that night, you know, because he cleans every night. And he said, well, shit, I'm going to go take a ride. I'm going to go take a drive, turn up the radio. I think I'll go on a 6-hour cruise. 6 hours, you could probably be halfway to your home state. No, not that far, but you know what I mean? Like, if he's going to drive around for that long, then he could drive his happy butt back to Pennsylvania. That's just baloney. I wanted to show you one more video before I get off here for the evening, but this one's from News Nation. I haven't seen this one yet, so it should be pretty good. Has anyone seen Banfield? Like, is she okay? Because she has not been on News Nation for like 2 weeks. Like, does anyone know if she's on vacation or something? Because I'm like, did you get fired, girl? Because I figured Kohberger, I mean, you know, Alibi, she would be on it. I wonder when I can't get over the Alibi. It just really makes me laugh. She's on vacation. Because I'm like, I miss her. Nightbot is such a busy person. That's so funny. Nightbot is the busiest. But Nightbot don't time people out on this channel. I don't do that. She needed a break. No, she did, Margot. I hope she comes back fully refreshed. But I figured she'd have her shirt steamed, earrings out, ready to go, you know, because, I mean, I would have. I think his dad wanted to stop in Colorado, if you know what I mean. To pick up some smoke, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so this is going to be from News Nation. This just came out a little bit ago. So we'll play this really quick, and then we'll see what they got to say.
One surviving witness's accounts, investigators believe the deaths happened between 4 and 4:25 that morning. Kohberger's lawyers say their client had a habit of taking long drives alone, and that is what he was doing late November 12th and into the early hours of November 13th. Joining me now to talk about this latest development is criminologist Dr. Debbie Goodman. Dr. Goodman, thank you so much for being here this afternoon. It sounds as though Kohberger's defense team has a plan that they plan to go with. Do you think it will work?
Well, good afternoon, Nick. Always a pleasure to join you. I think this plan of a defense is aligned with Swiss cheese for me, Nick, as a criminologist. Why? Because there are way too many holes and simply not enough substance and solid information. So we can remind the viewers, when we talk about an alibi is something that is to dispute that the whereabouts of the defendant at the time of the crime. So he's alleged to have been at the home, but to simply say that he's on this long drive, there's no verification. An alibi is designed to either it's a person who can say where this individual was during this time period of November 12th to the 13th. It could be an item, by the way. It could be something such as a receipt where one was at a particular place where we've got a time and a date stamp. It could be surveillance of, you know, closed caption type of TV. But to simply say that one is driving and there's no way to substantiate that, I feel it's very weak.
And Dr. Goldman, even if you were to produce surveillance video or a receipt of some kind, would they still have the burden of explaining away what prosecutors say they have as evidence of cell phone pings of his vehicle being near the home and casing the place before the murders occurred?
Right, that's a great point to bring up. So now we can pivot to what the prosecution will be presenting in October. And we already know it's going to be very solid, Nick, very substantial, to include his DNA, meaning the suspect, on this knife sheath that is directly at the crime scene.
I'm just going to leave this up because I wanted to ask, how are they going to explain him going back to the crime scene the next day? Like, you already drove to Moscow and you cruised around the house where there was a quadruple homicide. And then you went home and that's already looked suspicious. But wait for it. You come back again at 9:12 in the morning. And then you leave and you go on your adventure. So how's that going to work? I'm just really trying to figure out how the defense is going to spin this one.
And to your point about the cell phone data and the pings, that's huge for the prosecution, showing that this individual is right there in close proximity to the crime scene of the home. We also have more. We have his car on footage. And what I think is also going to be really insurmountable for this defense is that this individual reached out to one or more of our victims on social media. We will also come to find out that he has pictures on his phone of one or more of our victims. So for me, we're really talking about just a lot of important, substantial data that the prosecution has and will introduce as evidence. And the defense, I feel, is just trying to grasp at straws and come up with something. But if that's all they have, it is terribly weak.
And Dr. Goldman, help, though, for our audience at home to understand that it's not a crime for a young man to go on a drive and possibly be near a home where something eventually occurred, or to have pictures of attractive girls on his phone or whatever. But what you're saying is it's the culmination of those things that actually that circumstantial evidence in whole could help to build a case.
Absolutely, Nick. And we know that many high-profile cases that we have discussed on the platform have been deeply rooted in the circumstantial. That's absolutely true. But remember, on this particular case, we have both circumstantial as well as tangible. I'm starting with the DNA. You know, we have to look at that first and foremost, that who among us, right, the million, billion, trillion, but on this case, we're in the numerical of octillion, that nobody else's DNA was found at this crime scene other than this suspect. So it will be very interesting as it plays out, but I just think we've got overwhelming evidence from the prosecution versus potentially what this defense is coming up with as a long drive to nowhere with nobody seeing him and nobody substantiating this.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find.
Okay. Yeah, everything does look pretty bad for BK. I would have to agree with you on that one for sure. Yeah, he has his next court date is the 18th of August. So we are on the 4th, so 2 weeks from now. And it's on a Friday. Oh, so it's gonna be on a Friday. I'm wondering what they're gonna drop and run with that this time. You know, last time when they came out with documents on a Friday, it seemed like it was like, you know, here's what we think of you from the defense, and it was all bad from there. And then, you know, then that's when they seek the death penalty that Monday, when all those documents came out that Friday. I feel like the Friday isn't a good time. I like that long drive to nowhere. Yeah. That's a song, but it's not, it's like, but that's not what the words go. What's that song I'm thinking of? That I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere. That song by who's that country guy that sings that? Dwight Yoakam. Now I'm gonna have that song in my head. Like, I might be able to make up a song for Kohberger out of the lyrics of that song. Maybe I will, and I'll put it on a shirt. Because, you know, yeah, Anne doesn't have a pot to piss in. That's what my lawyer used to say. Did you already talk about Mr. Kohberger is prepared to provide further detail in ex parte hearing with the court? Yeah. Yeah. So he said that he would talk to the judge about it without the prosecutors there. I think they're just running for stuff. It's not a good look. But you know what I didn't check? I didn't check the Idaho site today. I don't think I did. What if there was documents on there? I'd probably be like, what? But look, okay, never mind. It fixed itself. This website has been so funky. Like yesterday wasn't even showing the documents weren't showing up. Nope, nothing. That was just what they wanted to drop on us and leave us with. Nothing, yeah. I'll say Jane will usually write me. Talking Heads were on the road to nowhere. That could be a good song though, too. I drove all night song. We're going to have so many songs. Highway to Hell. No, I'm going to have that one in my head. That's a good one. I wonder where he put the knife. I'm thinking it was the next day when he was out of service from 5:30 to 8:30. And we're going to go over that tomorrow on tomorrow's live. So I have more color coordinated documents for you. But it'll be a lot better like tomorrow because it won't be just driving. It'll be like, we're going to go over like the night of the homicides. And I think I'm going to do like open panel and let you guys come up if you guys want to come up and give your thoughts on everything that's going on and all of the rumors that are going around the world over this case. If you guys want to come up and talk tomorrow, that's perfectly fine with me. I think it'll be a good live. Yeah. Exactly. Similar drives. That's what I said too. Yeah. They're going to have to show like a pattern of him doing this because if he supposedly does this and they can't say, well, there's 12 times that he was over there. That's when he was doing it. That's probably what they're getting to. But you think he took it back to PA? He might have. I think he threw it somewhere. Or buried it. For some reason, I feel like he buried it, but I don't know why I think that. Maybe because there was like a shovel in his car and stuff, but you never know. Yeah, email me for sure. Because it'll be fun to do like an open panel and get everyone's opinions. Hey, Bree. But I think that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to get on and figure out how to. I did it last year for the tax-free weekend. I just got to figure out how to do it again. If not, I'll just go through and I'll just remove the taxes. But if you guys order something and the tax pops up, don't worry on your end. It'll be taken care of on my end. I'll make sure that I email you and I get it all taken care of. So if you guys decide to order tonight and I don't get it till tomorrow morning, then that's probably why. But I'm going to get off of here. Don't forget tomorrow is our giveaway. Let me put my little thing up behind me. You can't really see it until I take my screen off, but we are doing our giveaway tomorrow evening. So, there's an app. I like that. There's an app for that. I like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to also send to the mods, you guys, I'm going to start sending you the panel links too, every maybe live. And that way, if you guys want to come up, you guys can come up during the live, like before the live starts or after the live. If you guys want to come backstage and just hang out for a minute, you guys are more than welcome, So. Yes. Thank you for the congrats. I appreciate that. We worked really hard, on this channel. Over the last, it'll be a year in September. That's when we started, putting out true crime content. So the 17th of September. So we're going to have a party for that too. It's going to be parties all the way around. Okay. And I'm going to throw my email in here just in case it didn't pop up. And I'm going to, take my banner down. That way you guys can see the little pretty picture I made for you there. But you guys can always look over on the community page as well. And let me drop in the chat really quick. If anyone wants to become a member of the channel. Is your dog behind me? No, she's not here tonight. She's out there. She's actually out there tonight, laying on the bed. She's being a good girl. Thank you, Bree. It's been a lot of work. 10K in a year, yeah. And we did it. We did it. We're like a little over 200 into the 10K. So no going back now, guys. No going back. I do still have my balloons over there, but you can't see them. I guess if I kind of like do that. They're just barely holding on for dear life back there, but I do still have them. They're still floating. So that's always good. Yeah, we'll have a block party tomorrow. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Yeah. When I asked Vincent, I said, how many subscribers did you think I was going to have? Like, did we talk about that? And we didn't. It wasn't supposed to be like, this was just supposed to be like an outlet for me to kind of just get my words out. And then I just was like, here I am. Full-time, Elisa. Yes. Full-time job doing this. Oh my Lord. It's like I'm a boutique owner, and this is way more work than working and doing a full boutique. And I think it's because I just always want to make sure everything's like the shows are good and everything. And I might get twisted with my words and all of that, but I do always have my notes printed out and stuff. And I always try to make the lives nice for you guys as much as I can. So it is a full-time job, but I love it. I wake up every morning and I watch something about Idaho, and I go to bed every night watching something with true crime or Idaho. Normally true crime, but normally it's Idaho right now because it's a lot of Idaho stuff. So, well, I love y'all guys. You guys have a great evening. I will see you tomorrow on our live. It's a members only live, but it's not our live. It's at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be on at 8:15 p.m. We'll do our drawing around like 9:15, 9:30, something along those lines. But I will see you guys all on the next live. Have a great night and have a great weekend if I don't see you. Bye, guys.